Hello, everyone. It's the Red Badger, about to enter into our second Best Ball Mania draft. We're waiting for 10 more to start. So I like to do my little star method of queuing up players before the draft even begins. Hope you all are having a wonderful day. Um, Presentation's a little bit better. I removed that like and subscribe button that was constantly on the screen, as well as the title that was showing up in this box with me, blocking my face a little bit. So yesterday was my first day doing this, and this marks day two. So I'm getting more comfortable with, my setup and how I'm going to perform these drafts and record them and all. So just bear with me. Tell you a little bit about my fantasy football journey. It began in 2006, Reggie Bush's rookie year. A friend of mine had a league. Second week of the season, the Packers played the Saints in Lambeau. It was a 1 p.m. game, and Brett Favre hit Greg Jennings for a 22-yard touchdown. And my friend Ron's cousin, Hank, took a swallow, and that was it. He gave up his team. So Ron came to me and asked me if I would pick up his fantasy team, and I had never played fantasy football at all in my life. So I really didn't understand it then, but one of my first free agent acquisitions was Reggie Bush, and I ended up in fourth place that year, even with a team I didn't draft. Following year, I ended up in third place, and the year after that is when I took my first championship. I had D'Angelo Williams when he had the 20 touchdown season. I had Brandon Jacobs. I had LaDainian Tomlinson, Steve Smith Sr. I had a nice team. And I promised myself if I did win the championship that year with my winnings that I would buy me my Sean Taylor jersey, which I'm wearing right now, because that was one of my favorite Washington players of all time. Rest in peace. So that was what I did for myself. That was my first championship, and been playing ever since. Got introduced to best ball about 4 or 5 years ago, and I haven't had a big win yet, but I'm still at the grind. Still at the grind. So we're waiting for two more to start. Going to also continue queuing up my players in the meantime. Saves me a lot of time when I'm trying to draft, because not only do I want to, stream, I want to draft a good team. I don't want to make, small errors. So me and Levitan got that in common as far as the star method when it comes to making sure that you got your players lined up. Getting close to the weekend, Thursday. Draft's about to start now. Let me stop moving this keypad around. Okay, we got the 1.1. So that's a good place to start. We got the 1.3 yesterday on the first draft that I did. Now we got the 1.1. See if there's any names that I recognize in here. No, at the moment I don't. But we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Badgers in the room, and 6 no Badgers. So let's see what this room gives us today. We'll go from there. 15 seconds before this draft starts. As I mentioned, I got the 1.1. Can't complain. It's one of the best spots to have this year. Although ADP has swung around and changed a bit. So I'm going to take Jahmyr Gibbs. I knew eventually they was going to flip flop him and Bijan. More and more people started drafting Gibbs at the 1.1 over Bijan because of situation, because of the Lions having a good offense, and people don't really know what to expect with the quarterback situation in Atlanta, along with the new head coach, Kevin Stefanski, coming there. But Kevin Stefanski did have Nick Chubb with some solid years in Cleveland, and Nick Chubb can't catch as good as Bijan, so might transition pretty good depending on the quarterback play. JT goes at number 5, so JSN is going to fall to number 6. I know that drafter right there is pretty happy. CMC goes off the board. St. Brown goes off the board. Genty goes off the board. Okay, somebody move Genty up. JJ goes off the board. He's a very good bounce back candidate with the potential of Kyler being the starting quarterback. CeeDee Lamb goes off the board, followed by Barkley. Barkley and James Cook. What does the Lamb drafter do? He takes Omari and Hampton. Chan goes to the Jefferson drafter. Okay, the Genty drafter selects Kenneth Walker. Henry goes to the St. Brown drafter. Drake London goes off the board. How do you feel about Drake London? If he stays healthy, he was averaging what? Number 1 in the league at some point, points per game. Jeremiah Love goes off to the JSN drafter. Okay, we're coming up here in 2 picks. Bowers goes to the Nakua drafter. George Pickens goes off the board. Who does the Bijan drafter select? Breece Hall. So, yes, we will take A.J. Brown. And we will also take Mr. Nico Collins. So that gives us a clear-cut number 1 at RB and 2 receiver 1s for their respective teams in A.J. Brown and Nico Collins. Ladd gets pulled up the board to the Bijan drafter, who also took Breece Hall in the 2nd round. Okay, we're coming up on the Chase drafter. He selects Trey McBride. Zay Flowers goes off the board. Okay, we have ETN off the board. Chris Olave is off the board. Okay, here's the Genty drafter. He went running back again with Kyron. So he's going to have to play catch up at the receiver position. T. Higgins goes to the Lamb drafter. Tedero McMillan goes off the board. Let me see if I can get this to scroll down. It's not wanting to go down for your boy. What am I doing? Oh, Lord. Here we go. All right. Sorry, y'all. Like I said, I'm still adjusting to this. I'm going to get better along the way. Okay, Josh Jacobs goes off the board. Terry McLaurin goes off the board. So we have a pretty good start so far. You gotta see what this gives us over here. Once we pick at 48 and 49, Luther Burden goes off the board. There's been a run on receivers. Waddle goes off the board, so it makes me feel good that I did start with 2 receivers. Scatterbull goes off the board. So what do we want to do? Loveland goes off the board. So right now, my best players on the board, one of them is going to be Devontae Adams. I don't really necessarily want to go with J-Mo. Monty's a possibility. We'll swing for the fences and let's go with Hendy. Let's go with Hendy. I don't know that was the right choice. I probably should have took Swift. Hindsight is 2020, but at the end of the day, that seemed to be the best pick for me at that moment. Okay, so as of now, we have Jahmyr Gibbs, A.J. Brown, Nico Collins, Devontae Adams, and Travion Henderson. After my Henderson selection, J-Mo goes off the board, Quinshawn Junkins, David Montgomery, followed by Swift to the Burden drafter. So maybe they're possibly trying to get the Caleb stack. Need to queue up some more of my players. It's easier for me right now while I'm adjusting to this to queue them up on my phone. So Bucky Irvin goes off the board. Tootin goes off the board. Watson. BTJ. I like BTJ this year. He was going at the end of the first round, beginning of the second in drafts last year. So for him now going in the 5th and 6th round, most times he's going in the 6th. This drafter pulled him up. Okay, Lamar's off the board. Jaden Daniels as well. So he goes double quarterback, and both of them unstacked. DJ Moore falls around to the Josh Allen drafter. Jordan Tyson goes off the board. You have Jadarian Price. What are we doing here, buddy? Tyler Warren off the board. You can make the case for Tyler Warren being the first tight end that you should probably even be drafting. It's high expectations for Loveland at his price tag. You need him to basically have a year like George Kittle had twice. Drake May goes off the board, so I'm sniped from one of my quarterbacks. Burrow's off the board. Now here we are on the clock. Oh man, this kind of sucks. So my targets next would have to be, well, we're going to take Lemon. It's going to be our first selection at wide receiver. And oh man, I guess we could go with Jalen Warren here to give us our third running back. Quentin Johnson goes off the board to the lad drafter. Interesting. Drake May goes off the board to the Pickens drafter. Prescott goes off the board to the Pickens drafter. Who also was able to stack Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. I got sniped on May by the Puka drafter. So I'm going to have to rely on some other quarterbacks. Rounds 9, 10, 13, possibly. Justin Herbert goes off the board. So what's your favorite draft position? If you had to select anywhere, where would your preference be? What I've noticed is that during various points of this, draft season, certain players like Jacobs going at the 2-3 turn, now falling into the fourth round, sometimes the late fourth round. Neighbors was going much early. Now he's falling late into the third round. So at certain points, early on, the 1.1 and the 1.2 was your money spot. You're getting your elite running back and you're getting, elite receiver potential. But then with Neighbors falling, Rashee Rice falling to the end of round 3, it's not looking so bad taking those two running backs if you're at picks 10 through 12. Because you still have the potential for an elite wide receiver. Paired with your running backs. Okay, Reed goes off the board. Oh, man. What do we have here? Queuing up some of the wrong people, guys. It's all good. We'll get this show situated. Okay, so obviously I know who one of my targets are. Okay. Thank you for one. Me getting Sutton here, I will take that. And I am going to get my quarterback stacked with Adams by taking Stafford. Now, taking any chances with the Puka drafter. You know, sometimes you can get Stafford falling all the way back, but right now, with already getting sniped on May, with Bo Nix going right before I took Sutton, I know he probably wanted Sutton on the rebound, but I needed another receiver. I didn't really like J.K. Dobbins. I mean, I could have took a swing on Jonathan Brooks, but I'd rather take the Fowler and Sutton there and shore up with at least one of my quarterbacks. So as of now, we have a 1-3-5 build. We have Matthew Stafford stacked with Devontae Adams. At running back, we have Jahmyr Gibbs, Travion Henderson, and Jaylen Warren. At receiver, we have A.J. Brown, Nico Collins, Devontae Adams, Mekhi Lemon, and Courtland Sutton. Laporta. We have three tight ends going in a row, Fannin, Laporta, and Pitts. Aaron Jones gets brought up into the 9th round. Normally he's going into the mid to late 10th. Michael Wilson, he took a drastic fall into the end of the 9th round. Shard White goes off the board. Jaden Higgins goes off the board. Jackson Dart, another faller. Has an ADP of 97 to get him at 110. He fell to 110 in another draft, somewhere around there, 109, 110, in my first draft that I did yesterday. Kenneth Gainwell goes off the board. Jordan Love goes off the board to the Kraft drafter. Goff goes to the Laporta drafter. Ricky Pearsall is off the board. KC Concepcion's off the board. Tyler Shuck. Okay, right now, we do not have a key position in my eyes. So what I'm going to do for one of them is I am going to select Travis Kelce. Now, do I want to go ahead and don't have any bucks? Do I really need? You know what? We are going to select George Kittle as well. Get our tight ends later. I'm okay with the running backs that we have. So that's the team so far. We have Matthew Stafford, Jahmyr Gibbs, Travion Henderson, Jaylen Warren. At receiver, we have A.J. Brown, Nico Collins, Devontae Adams, and Mekhi Lemon, and Courtland Sutton. At tight end, we have Travis Kelce and George Kittle. So we have a solid foundation with this team. We're going to need some more help at the quarterback position. Receiver, we have a great core right there. With us having 5 receivers and only needing to technically start 3. You got Hendy and Warren sitting behind Gibbs, who you expect to be your running back. Well, fill one of your running back slots week in and week out, with being the number 1 overall player selected by me and in this draft. And so, all right, let me get back to showing y'all the board. Where are we at? Right here. Sorry, yesterday I kept forgetting to show you what was happening, and my apologies. So now you can see the board again. We're up in 8 picks. Shaheed goes off the board. Gadsden goes off the board. Omar Cooper goes off the board. Sam Darnold goes off the board. Okay, this is going to get a little interesting. Jake Ferguson's off the board. Cam Ward is off the board. Travis Hunter is off the board. Okay, we are all right. It was imperative that we at least got CJ Stroud. He was much needed. Do we take the Faller and Kincaid? We already got Stroud stacked up. No, we're going to have to shore up our running back room even more. So I'm going to take Jonah Coleman and skip out on the Faller and Kincaid. He gives us our 4th running back. Pacheco goes off the board. Kincaid is now drafted, followed by Hunter Henry. Daniel Jones. I'm not too high on Daniel Jones. I mean, I believe that teams started to figure him out prior to him tearing his Achilles. And I think with them having film on him, he is not going to have as good a season as he was having last year. Also, returning from Achilles injury. So I don't like making the selection of Daniel Jones. McMillan, Jalen Naylor are off the board. Geno Smith is off the board. Geno is drafted. The Garrett Wilson drafter selected Geno. Okay, you have Antonio Williams off the board to the Jaden Daniels drafter. Brenton Strange, Greg Dulcich. Fernando Mendoza goes off the board to the Naylor drafter. who also has Genti. Woody Marks. Woody Marks fell a bit. Yeah, ADP of 143.6, falls to pick 161. Juwan Johnson goes off the board. Okay. We don't have any more stacking options with any of our players at quarterback. So right now we only have Stafford and Stroud. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our fifth and final running back. I believe that's the move, and select Zach Charbonnet. And we are going to pull up Aaron Rodgers just to give us another quarterback out. Debo Samuel was a possibility, along with Stribling. But with us only having Stafford and Stroud, we needed a third quarterback. I don't have any Falcons. I don't even have any Browns to even take a chance on a Deshaun Watson or a Shador Sanders. So there was no options there at quarterback. Like I said, unfortunately, some of my well, really, it was mainly missing out on Drake May. Dylan Sampson, followed by A.J. Barner. Dejon Stribling is finally off the board. Zachariah Branch. Brandon Ayuk. Mike Washington's off the board. Jaden Blue. It's a surprise pick. ADP at 208. Could have got him in the last round. Elijah Surratt. He also has Lamar Jackson. So he has Lamar, Andrews, and Surratt for that stack. And then he has Jaden, Rashard White, Antonio Williams, and Chig for his Washington stack. And Purdy and Evans. Mike Washington goes off the board, followed by Terrence Ferguson. Dalton Schultz goes off the board. He was a possibility with my last pick where I selected Rodgers, but I was more worried about having a third quarterback there than having a third tight end. He won 3 tight ends in a row. Running back. Alvin Kamara goes off the board. Jeremy Bernard goes off the board. Be like Mike. Be like Mike. Okay, what do you do? You're the only person that's in my way of getting the player that I would like here. and you allow me to. So thank you. We will go ahead and select Pat Fryermuth. That's one of Rogers' receiving options. Oh man, Singleton's the best one player on the board, but no, actually we will take Jerry Jeudy. I would have liked Singleton, but we needed another receiver. Jerry Jeudy was still on the board. Jerry Jeudy fell almost 14 picks or so past ADP, 13.8, something like that. And he gives us our sixth receiver. So most likely we're looking at a 3-5-7-3 build. We won't be taking no more quarterbacks, no more tight ends, or running backs. Because if that was the case, I would have took Nick Singleton there. I think Singleton has a chance to emerge from that backfield at some point this season. Tajay Spears is just never he's had his opportunities to surpass Pollard and hasn't. And Pollard's been consistent for the most part. But this is his final year, and I think they're actually looking to move on from him. So I think Singleton will get his opportunities, and that's what you're kind of looking for in these last rounds, 16, 17, 18. We're all a crapshoot. Not every year are you going to get a Kyron Williams or a Puka Nacua, in the final round of drafts and them end up, winning people championships, winning people leagues, winning people money. So Chris Brazel goes off the board. Brennan Thompson off the board. I assume, yes, it's the Herbert drafter. So he has Herbert, Brennan Thompson, and Gadsden as his stack players for the Chargers. Penix, Vele, Katron Allen, Yoshivash. So we're coming up. Perfect. Tank Dell falls all the way to us. We do have CJ Stroud. So not bad. Give you a recap of the final team. Final team is Matthew Stafford stacked with Devontae Adams. We have CJ Stroud stacked with Nico Collins and Tank Dell. We have Aaron Rodgers stacked with Pat Fryermuth, as well as Jaylen Warren, who should catch some passes out of the backfield. And not bad. Not bad of a team. Appreciate y'all tuning in. This is my second draft that I completed. I'll probably draft. May not be no more Best Ball Manias this week, but tomorrow we'll probably get in some of those. Guess what? What are the $7 poodles if that's still open? But still getting my feet wet. Still getting used to my setup. Getting comfortable. But each day will get better and better, and I appreciate any and all of you who like, subscribe, hell, even would like to draft with me at some point. We can figure out how to link up and collaborate on something. Try to win us some big money. I also, like I said, I want to say shout outs to any and everyone who's doing this taking a leap of faith and believed in themselves enough to want to, show the world what they know, their knowledge, that they know ball, that they know how to draft, that they know how to communicate and explain. I guess my overall goal is to explain to people like me, what best ball is, how you play, what some good ideas for drafting. How are you making sure that your teams correlate? That you're preparing for Week 17. That you're also stacking your teams, because I know a lot of people that I grew up with. They may know a little bit about fantasy football, but they have no idea what it is about best ball. They don't know nothing about underdog or the potential to win life changing money, as well as meeting new people that are in this field that we love so much. So keep doing what you're doing, everyone else. I tune in. I'm not uh I'm not a hater. I'm more of I appreciate anybody that's, out here giving us this information and communicating and doing what they have to do. So I'm gonna wrap this draft up now. Um, See y'all all tomorrow and enjoy the rest of your Thursday. One love, the Red Badger, aka Petty Monster.